reaction to the vibes in Philadelphia?
I don't even know that it matters.
That's a
Like, and I say that as the architect of the supernatural funk phrase. So that obviously mattered. But we're at the point where the vibes look great for obviously Jalen Phillips. And, you know, AJ was fine there. But it doesn't even have to be a loss for AJ to throw the vibes into disarray. They could win this weekend, and he could say something, post something that has everybody going, what in the world? So I think the good thing for the Eagles is that I think they just completely ignore. Like Jaden said it earlier, or Jalen said it a couple of weeks ago. Jalen Hurts said it a couple of weeks ago when he was like, you know, I just keep focus on the collective. And I think we kind of brushed it aside, whatever. But I really think that's how they look at it now. Like, look, whatever AJ said, it's kind of like the boy that cried wolf. Like, he's so many times he said something, posted something, whatever. We won a Super Bowl with him being a distraction on the sideline by reading a book, with him saying things and tweeting things. We're fine. Whatever he says, I think they just ignore it, which I think is smart, and you move forward. So I think that'll be fine for them.
They're built for all types of vibes. Any vibe, whether it's negative, whether it's great, they're built for all of it because they've had to. They've endured it all. Last year, you kind of alluded to it. Last year, a 9-game winning streak, win against the Carolina Panthers. A.J. Brown is asked, what needs to be fixed? Passing game. And now, to his credit, we all felt the same way.
Yes.
So he does say the things that most guys aren't going to say in the locker room that they feel, that we're not going to disclose to the open public. Jalen Phillips, on the other hand, he's coming from a situation where, look, I had no chance to win.
Right.
Like, it was miserable. By the way, I've been down there. I know what you're talking about. Like, and so you get in a locker room and the opportunity. Look, all I see is an opportunity to win. But to defend, I don't necessarily want to say I want to defend A.J. Brown. But you gotta have a guy like this in the locker room. And last year, I thought the book was a distraction. You guys know how I felt about the book. But you know how many guys came to his defense? Guys in that locker room came to his defense. Even yesterday, when we saw that shot that we just put up there, Devontae Smith
is in the background.
He jumps
smiling.
in. Yeah. It's like, what y'all think? He want to be like. A.J. Brown is never going to be the guy that just goes with what feels good. He's going to be the guy in the locker room, in the team meeting room that's going to say what he feels, how he feels, whether we're winning or losing. And he's the guy that everybody, when something, you know somebody's going to say something, it's like, oh, A.J.'s going to say something. When something needs to be said and nobody's saying anything, you know who everybody's going to look at? A.J., you going to say something? Because
so
you want
positive.
That guy. Absolutely.
Oh.
It's like,
well, you think it started that way or it's just become that?
I think it's become that because of the frustrations in the passing game. And again, he's experienced it. We watch it and we see, man, they're going to have to pass the ball if they're going to be able to accomplish what we all feel like they're talented enough to do.
What were you going to – you had a funny look when Bruce said what he said.
Because I 100% agree with Bruce.
So
I wrote down my paper, not sure any of this matters. To me, it's like turbulence on a flight. Yeah. It doesn't matter if we're sitting next to each other and you start freaking out and you start screaming with your shoes off. Jalen Hurts is the pilot, and he's cool. He's not rattled at all. So I could be like, put your shoes on, we're going down. You got your toes out there wiggling. But it's like Jalen Hurts is so calm and so steady, I'm not sure this matters.
All right. So I have, in response to that.
About the shoe thing?
I want to
Let's watch Nick sound the alarm.
I want to agree with you guys, with the exception of, I think one could make the argument, this is the team of all 32 where it could matter the most because we saw what we think was bad vibes sink a season.
Oh my gosh.
That we saw this team be 10-1, and then for reasons that are so inexplicable, we have just used it like it's a real event, like for the tackle that turned the tide, the supernatural funk.
It's such a lie. You know that you did not think that team was good. You know you did not think that team was good. You thought the coaching was terrible. You thought the defense was terrible. Stop with the nonsense. Stop with this, why do we keep going back to 23? It's so insane. It had nothing to do with vibes. Can we stop with this nonsense narrative? They don't even believe it, but they just keep saying it. It's ridiculous at this point. It is so ridiculous. Every single person that knows, every single Philadelphia Eagles fan who's obviously going to be the most locked into that team knows it. It wasn't a vibe issue. It was a coaching issue, and it was a roster issue, okay? So just stop. Stop with this nonsense of, oh, they were 10-1 and they were dominant. They were winning every game because they were amazing. The defense was an absolute mess. The coaching was an absolute mess. Jalen Hurts was banged up. Like, it's just ridiculous to say that this was just vibes is absurd. It's absolutely positively absurd. And it's such a, you would think winning the Super Bowl would put that nonsense to bed. Was it just vibes that got the defense really good last year from 23 to 24? Was it just vibes? You tell me. They had the 30th ranked defense giving up 25.2 points per game. Was it then just vibes that then took them to 17.8? Is that what it was? Number. Do that. Okay. Was it vibes why they went from 25.5 points per game to 27.7 points per game? Was it just vibes? Saquon Barkley was just vibes. Okay, gotcha. Makes sense. Cooper Dean just vibes. Zach Bond vibes. Quan Mitchell vibes. CJ Gardner-Johnson vibes. Okay, gotcha. Jason Kelce about to retire vibes. Okay, it's so incredible that they treat this Philadelphia Eagles team as one of the most fragile teams out there, when the Philadelphia Eagles have been literally the most consistent team in the NFL the last 25 years or so. More consistent, because I always say that they're second to the New England Patriots and playoff wins. That's like my go-to thing that I often mention since 2000. And that's specifically because of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. And that's my proof that you could actually make the argument that it's the Philadelphia Eagles because their success and their playoff wins and Super Bowl wins and whatnot were not all because of one core. Wasn't Bill Belichick, Tom Brady. For the Kansas City Chiefs, I think they're like third or fourth in that list right now. That's all because of 99% of it Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid. That's not the case with the Philadelphia Eagles. That's not over the last 25 years. It was a little bit of Andy Reid, a little bit of McNabb, a little bit of Nick Foles, a little bit of Jalen Hurts, a little bit of Nick Sirianni. It's been a little combination. They've literally proven to consistently be able to build and rebuild teams and establish a winning culture year after year after year after year. Say it with me. After year, it's so insane. Even let's say A.J. Brown became so talk. Let's just take it to the extreme. That's what you do in these types of situations, right? It's a little psychological, philosophical trick. You're like, let's just take it. This is the worst case scenario. A.J. Brown starts screaming, right? He pulls an an AB, takes a shirt off. He just starts screaming and he's just, starts singing songs and playing the trumpet and stuff. He just goes crazy. Literally, he just starts playing the trumpet and the banjo and he starts rapping and he starts singing blues and he then starts to have like an orchestra. He's playing the violin. He's like, I just want to be a musician. I want to do it all, man. I want to be a rapper. I want to be a country singer. I want to be a banjo player. I just want to do it all. And then I'm also going to be a painter. He just take it to the most extreme thing ever. And he's just doing it on the sidelines. He's got starts painting and stuff. And he's like, there's a picture of like Jalen Hurts throwing the ball. People are like, what is this man doing right now? The Eagles would just say, okay, we're just going to deactivate you. Like, you're just done. You're no longer, you're just to the side. We're suspending you. Well, whatever they have to officially do to like remove him off to the side, and Eagles would still be fine. They could still be successful, as they have proven. That's obviously the most extreme example. They're not trapped. This team does not stop and start through A.J. Brown. He's not the central core. There is no truly central. We can say it's Jalen Hurts. We can say this, but it's not. That's what makes this team so great. That's what makes this team so resilient. You take away A.J. Brown, well then now you got Devontae, you got Dallas, you got Dodson, You take away Devontae, you got AJ, you got Saquon. You take away Saquon, you got Jalen. You understand what I'm saying here? You need the defense to step up. You need the offense to step up like that. That's what makes this team so resilient. And again, it doesn't mean that they're just now going to go off and win a Super Bowl. Like, this is just, I'm telling you right now, this is what they're creating. Anything short of the Philadelphia Eagles winning the Super Bowl is just going to be like supernatural funk. Proof A.J. Brown was a distraction. Proof A.J. Brown was right about the passing game. Like, no matter what happens outside of a Super Bowl victory, you know, just the hardest thing to do, it's just such an exhausting narrative. It really is. It's such an exhausting narrative. And to keep this whole thing of just going back to 2023 is so absurd. And even in that playoff game against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Jalen Hurts was injured, his knee was messed up, and he literally dislocated his finger a week before the game. And Kelsey was literally retiring. And A.J. Brown wasn't even playing because he got injured, and they lost in the playoffs. Okay, there you go. Okay, they're the only team to ever lose. Like, I don't understand. Like, what they needed to just to go undefeated. They went to a Super Bowl, they lost. They then had another season where, with a terrible defense and terrible coaches, they still got to the playoffs. They still won a lot of games. They lost. And then the following year, they literally won a Super Bowl. And you want to try to paint this picture that this team is just on thin ice, just ready to crack and explode at any given moment, when, like, the reality is pretty much every team is always on the brink. When you realize, when you actually really understand that the Chiefs, I mean, think about how they were eking out win after win after win, and then when they finally faced an actual great team, they got annihilated. They were able to get by on the lesser teams, but then when they played the Philadelphia Eagles, they got absolutely annihilated. They got absolutely just rolled. Same thing with the Washington Commanders. They were able to get by in all these close one-score games. They were able to beat Baker Mayfield and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were able to beat an injured Detroit Lions team, and then they got to the Philadelphia Eagles and got annihilated. Colin kept talking about the Los Angeles Rams and how amazing they are, and Matthew Stafford. No, if it wasn't for their O-line, if they didn't have a rookie 8th round left tackle or whatever the heck he would always say. Let's just say that that's true. They were able to get by until they got to the Philadelphia Eagles. And then Jalen Carter said, "I'm going to humiliate you. I am going to destroy you. I am going to make you pay such consequences that you are going to sleep dream about me for the rest of your life. I'm going to take your soul." And that's what he did. The Green Bay Packers, they're able to survive. They were able to eke out, get by. Jordan Love's in, Jordan Love's out. And then they played the Philadelphia Eagles. Notice how every team had a lot of momentum and was feeling pretty good until they faced the Philadelphia Eagles. Did they all just collapse? Did they all just fall apart? Was it all just over? Was just, supernatural funk? Number. Okay, got it. It's just crazy to me that, like, this is the talk that they want to have about the Philadelphia Eagles in this moment of time. Like, it's this weird obsession and the repeating of the supernatural funk, that whole narrative. It's just so tired. It really is. You know what's actually a more relevant narrative that they should be talking about, that they should hammer home, that actually has truth and validity to it? When Patrick Mahomes doesn't have a good old line, he's awful. Talk about that more. Talk about what are the Chiefs going to do without, what does it mean for Patrick Mahomes' legacy, that he can only look good when he's protected, that actually holds more weight than just making stuff up in 2023. If the Philadelphia Eagles had an elite offense, an elite defense in 2023, and they were winning games like pretty convincingly, pretty comfortably, and not eking out wins against, Sam Howell and the Washington Commanders, and then they collapsed. Sure, we could have a real conversation about that. But that's not what happened. That's not how that season unfolded. If those coaches were legit, if it was Kel Moore in 23 and Fangio in 23, and it was pretty much the whole same roster, sure, totally get it. But they're trying to pretend that the difference between 23 and 24 is just vibes. I mean, do you understand how insane that is? Like, Jalen Hurts didn't improve. Like, Saquon Barkley didn't make a huge impact. Like, Fangio wasn't a huge impact. Kellen Moore wasn't a huge impact. Bond wasn't a huge impact. Mitchell, on and on, on and on and on we go. Cooper Dean. I mean, like, that's why it's just always so circular. We just keep going in circles. Like, it's just crazy. It doesn't actually hold. It's just unbelievable. I mean, it really is. It just makes no sense. It makes no sense. I didn't realize I'll end here. I genuinely didn't realize, I don't know, I'll say it. I genuinely didn't realize how much stuff is made up. How much narratives get, really, how many made up narratives get constructed. I really didn't know. Maybe because I was just a more passive viewer. Maybe because back when I was watching these shows and watching these games from a more just like, I'm just kind of hanging out half watching, you know, I'm watching the games, I'm on my phone, I'm flipping channels. Oh, wait. They went up by 7. Oh, what happened? Whatever. They scored a touchdown. It's all good, right? Like, just kind of this 1 foot in 1 foot out mentality watching the shows. And I just used to think that, like, and I thought this a lot about the media. This is just the media in general everywhere, that it was just like their job to be like a reflection of, like, you know, like a mirror, a lens, you know, somewhere to just convey the reality, not construct and distort stories and narratives and truths. I thought it was just, this is what's happening. I'm going to relay what's happening, and then we can have a discussion about it. I didn't know there was so much just let's distort things, let's just twist things to fit how we see things, how we want things. It's like, I was going to use a different team as an example, but I'll just use the Eagles as an example. It's like, if this was my view, A.J. Brown is really toxic to the Eagles. I think Jalen Hurts is really unhappy about it, and it's putting a lot of stress on the relationship between Howie Roseman and Jalen Hurts and Jeffrey Lurie and Nick Sirianni. And because of that, I think Jalen Hurts is going to be really frustrated, and I don't think he can play great football right now because he's under too much pressure. Yes, on the surface he looks calm, cool, and collected, but I think that's why we keep seeing such poor halves from him, because he's just so uncomfortable by this dynamic and this relationship with all of this. And I think it's a really big problem, and I think because of that, Kevin Patullo and Jalen Hurts' relationship are really stressed. And I think it's really becoming a problem. Then Kevin Patullo is really unsure about how to call plays now, because he's feeling the pressure and the stress of A.J. Brown, which then feeds into Sirianni now coming down on Kevin Patullo. And so now Kevin Patullo's relationship, which used to be really good, is no longer good with Nixie, which is then trickling down to Jalen Hurts. And so now, who's the leader in this locker room? Who's the coach when Jalen Hurts is frustrated about this? Does he go to Kevin Patullo? Does he go to Nick Sirianni? If he goes to Nick, is he going over Kevin Patullo's head? If he goes to Kevin Patullo, does Nick Sirianni now feel like he's out of the loop? And this is a problem. And so what Jalen Hurts probably needs to do is go to Howie Roseman. But then if not, then he has to go to Jeffrey Lurie. But if he goes to Jeffrey Lurie, is he then undercutting Howie Roseman? And this is all what A.J. Brown is causing. I just made that all. I don't even know what I'm saying right there. But it's just all made up. It's all made up. That's what the supernatural funk is. It's just absolutely, let's just make it up. Well, we heard other players say that the vibes weren't good. Yeah, because they were losing. What do you think they're going to say? It's a party. Like, what do you like? What are we saying right now? How were the vibes when the Rams were losing, when their O-line was decimated, and they were having all their issues? What were the vibes for the Baltimore Ravens when their defense was? What were the vibes for the Detroit Lions when they were losing? What are the vibes for the Kansas City Chiefs when they were actually winning, where Patrick Mahomes himself said it wasn't very fun? What are the vibes? Tell me about the vibes of these teams. Tell me about the vibes of the teams of every other team that's not winning a Super Bowl. Like, tell me, I would love to know when you ask them what are the vibes. I'd love to know what are the vibes right now for the Washington Commanders. Are they feeling good? Are they losing now because of the vibes? Or is it because they're injured and Jane Daniels isn't even playing? What about the vibes? You gotta tell me. Tell me about these vibes. What were the vibes for the Indianapolis Colts in 24 compared to now in 2025? What are the vibes? What about the vibes for the New England Patriots last season and this season? I'd love to know. What are the vibes right now for the Kansas City Chiefs compared to how it was in 2022? Were the vibes better in 2022? Is that the only reason why they look differently? Because of the vibes? Oh, well, then Patrick Mahomes deserves blame for not controlling the vibes enough in 2025. It's up to him. What were the vibes on the Super Bowl when Patrick Mahomes was getting blown out by the Philadelphia Eagles? Was it just vibes? Did Patrick Mahomes just need to be like, oh, come on, guys, we could do it? They need to bang out the bongos themselves, start a little drum circle, have Travis Kelce start reading books to help like juice up the vibes. Like I don't understand. Spags is going to light some sage or something. Like the vibes. We got to get the negative energy out. That first half was really bad. We need better vibes. It's just absurd. I mean, it really is. It really is. There can be truth to vibes and energy in a locker room, undeniably. But to act like that is why one team is like winning a Super Bowl and one team isn't is insane. Is absolutely positively insane. Can vibes cause a team that's doing kind of okay and now they kind of collapse and now they're like kind of spiraling? Yeah, absolutely. Is it the difference between 23 and 24 for the Philadelphia Eagles? Absolutely not. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Philadelphia Eagles and the vibes and the supernatural funk and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts and Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman and Jalen Phillips? Let me know. Bring it all on right now. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.